Wow, how'd you like that holster? Alex Wetzel with CKK Industries. That's a two-piece sandwich style design. Want to learn how to make one yourself? Let's go in the workshop and get with Robbie Feltman. He's going to show us how to do it.
Hey, welcome back to the workshop. Robbie here with CKK. The holster you just saw is a two-piece design made for the Smith & Wesson Shield. This is an outside the waistband design. It's very popular. A lot of people refer to it as a sandwich style holster. Today I'm going to show you how to make one. So let's get our work clothes on and get started. Okay guys, we're about ready to get started. There's a few items we're going to need. We're going to be using 080 Coyote Brown KYDEX, carpenter square, holster mold, the dowel rod that came with the holster mold we'll be using for a sight channel. We'll be using a razor knife, Phillips head screwdriver, Sharpie, 8/9 eyelets, E-loops, tape measure, and some blue tape. The larger tools we'll be using is our Kalamazoo. This is our 1x42 model. I use it to shape the edges of the holster. For this video, I'm just going to do a rough, edge, but you can move up to a higher grit belt to fine-tune the edges of the holster. This is our Sheath molding press. This is our 12-inch model. We also have it in a 24-inch model as well. I have a curved jig in here now. I'll show you how that works when we start molding the KYDEX. This is our rivet flaring press. We have our number 8 dies pre-installed in this. I'll be using this to actually roll the eyelet, in the holster once we get it drilled. All right, this is our 10-inch drill press. We'll be using it to drill the holes in the holster that we can, when we get the eyelets installed, and we'll go back to the press and actually roll them. And last, we'll be using our toaster oven. And you can see I have a digital thermometer there. That way we can keep a check on it and get a nice consistent temperature on the KYDEX. Okay guys, I think that pretty much covers the tools. Let's get started. Okay guys, for our holster, what we're going to do first is prep our gun. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the dowel rod that came with the holster mold. I've flattened out one side and I've cut some notches to fit the sights. And what that's going to do, that's going to create a channel so the front sight don't grab the holster when you're drawing the weapon. All right, what I'm going to do to install the sight channel is take some tape and we'll run it down the slide. Try to keep the tape nice and straight so it don't print on your holster. Okay, I have the one side. Now what I'm going to do is try to center the dowel rod as center as possible. All right, now I'm just going to take and touch the tape, get it to stick. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing for the other side. Just using the slide as kind of a guide to keep the tape straight. I'm just going to fold right over. I'm just going to tuck in all the loose pieces. Okay guys, we have the holster mold prepped. Now let's get started on cutting some KYDEX. Okay, in this step we're going to cut our KYDEX. And what we need to do that is take a couple measurements on the gun. See, it's 6 inches in length. Okay, what I'm going to do is just kind of lay my tape over here and leave me enough room on each side. Looks to be about 8 inches. Ought to give me plenty of room to make the holster. So what I'm going to do now is cut my KYDEX into two pieces, 8 inches by 6 inches. And what I'm going to do to start with is mark my 8-inch mark. And I'm going to just Flush it up here on the back of my cutting board. Keep my square pushed up tight, that way nothing moves on me. Okay, just one fairly deep score line ought to be plenty. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep the score line up. I'm going to put it on the edge of my bench and fold it and break. Okay, now I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. I'm going to pull 6 inches. 6 inches. Same thing again to the back of my cutting board. Align the marks. Okay. And a fairly deep score mark. Again, score line up. Put it on the edge of my workbench. Fold it and break it. Okay, we have our KYDEX cut. Now we're going to move over to the press, get our oven ready, and start forming some KYDEX. Okay guys, let's get our oven turned on. I got it turned on, I got it set to 350 degrees. Now let's move over to the press and I'll show you what we need to do over there. Okay, I'm going to take the top off. I'm going to remove the bottom piece of foam. It's just two-sided tape. Okay, I'm going to be using, for this two-piece holster, this curved jig made by HD Designs. As you can see, it has a nice contour. That'll make the holster fit the body a lot better once it's completed. What we're going to do is place that on our press. And this is a piece of foam I've been using for a while. It's good and broken in. All right. And that's the setup for forming. Now what we need to do is get an idea of how we're going to lay down our KYDEX. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the smooth side toward the gun. I'm going to lay it in. And I'm going to place the gun on. I'm going to keep it approximately 2.5 inches from the back side here. Then I'm going to take the other piece, smooth side toward the gun, just like so. Just keep in mind this KYDEX will be hot over here and you won't have but just a few seconds to get it in place and ready. So you want to know exactly what you're going to be doing. Then we're going to take the press, put it on and clamp it down. Okay. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get everything in position. That way when I'm over here I can just move quickly and not waste any time getting the KYDEX in the press. Okay, we're going to put the KYDEX in the oven and keep it spaced out and make sure it's not overlapping. That way it heats evenly. I'm just going to stand here and keep a check on it. It's going to take probably about a minute, minute and a half to heat up. We'll just give it a few seconds and we'll start checking it every once in a while. Okay, it's getting pretty close. All right, it's ready. Remember, smooth side toward the gun, a couple inches back, top. Okay. All right, guys, we'll let that set for about 15 minutes and we'll come back and take a look at it. Okay, guys, it's been about 15 minutes, but be sure to leave it in there long enough. You want it to be completely cooled down. You don't want to mess up any retention points or any of the curvature on that jig that we used. All right, let's pull it out of the press and see what it looks like. Yeah, that's looking good right there. Okay, you can see we have some nice detail. You can see the curvature from the jig. All right, guys, our next step is we're going to lay out our hole pattern, move over to the drill press, start drilling some holes. Okay, we've got our KYDEX cut, we've got our KYDEX formed. Now we need to lay out the hole pattern for the loops. And what I'm going to do to do that is, I'm going to take one of my E-loops, I'm going to measure the hole spacing on the back, which is 1 inch center to center. Okay, now what I'm going to do is mark it out on the holster. All right, for this particular holster, I'm going to stay up from the bottom 1 inch and put the first mark. And what I'm doing, I'm using my tape here to stay just outside of the sight rail. That should give me plenty of room. I'm marking the first one at 1 inch. I'll mark the next one at 2 inches. The next one at 3 inches. If you can see those. Okay, I'm going to do pretty much the same thing on this side. I'm going to put my tape at the edge of the trigger guard, and I'm going to mark on this side of the tape. I'm only going to need 2 holes on this side. I'm going to mark it at 1 inch, mark it at 2 inches. If you can see that. All right, we got our holes marked. Let's move over to the drill press and start drilling some holes. Okay guys, we got our holes marked. Now it's time to do some drilling. I have my number 8 KYDEX drill installed. This makes some nice clean holes. And when we start drilling, just make sure you got a firm grip and be prepared in case it like turns or catches. You just want to be ready for it if that happens. Now let's get our glasses on. And just take it nice and slow. Try to get to the center of your marks. Okay, and what I like to do to keep everything aligned is take one of my 8-10 eyelets and push it through the hole. That'll help keep everything aligned. We're going to drill 1 hole on the other side and do the same thing. Install the eyelet. Okay, now that keeps everything aligned and nice and tight when we drill the other holes. Okay, we have our holes drilled. Now it's time to roll some eyelets. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take an eyelet and just push it into one of the holes. Or if you can see that, you see the preform side? I like to call that keep that on the presentation side of the holster. All right, what we want to do, go ahead and push that all the way in. We're going to set the eyelet in the cup. Now we're going to ease down. Make sure everything is lined up. Okay, now we're just going to run some smooth, even pressure, not too much. Okay, we got the first one rolled. Let's try another one. Okay, same thing. Set it in the cup. Nice, even pressure. And using that number 8 drill bit sure makes installing these eyelets easy. Those nice clean holes. All right, 2 more to go. Again, put it in the cup. And 1 more. Okay guys, there's all our holes. Eyelets installed. Now we're going to move over to the bandsaw and trim off the excess. Okay guys, here we are at the bandsaw. Now we're ready to cut out all this excess material. I'm just going to make a couple cuts. I'm going to cut out this chunk here. I'll cut down along here, down below the trigger. Take out this section so we'll have room to grab it. I'm going to even this up along the bottom. Now when you're cutting on a bandsaw, you need to be sure to keep your hands outside the blade when you're pushing. You don't want to be slipping and running your hand into the blade. Just please be safe, read your owner's manual, and just take care when using the bandsaw. All right, I'm going to fire it up, put my glasses on, and start cutting. Okay guys, I'm gonna let that run down a little bit where you can hear me. Okay, I got all the excess material cut off. Now we're going to move over to the sander and start finishing the edges. Okay guys, we're ready to start sanding our edges. What I'm going to do right here, I'm just going to take the belt and cut this piece off. That'll kind of expose our sweat guard. It's a little safer than doing on the bandsaw. All right, I'm going to put my safety glasses on. All right, we're going to start sanding. Okay guys, now that we have our edges cleaned up, let's move over and mount our E-loops. Okay guys, now that we have our two-piece holster made, we're going to install our E-loops. We're going to start out by getting our E-loop in one of the slotted posts. We're going to let the slotted post slide into the E-loop. Okay, then we're going to take our finishing washer, our dome head screw, okay, we're going to leave that just a little bit loose till we get the other one installed. Okay, our slotted post in. And that jumped away from me. Okay. Okay, we're going to use our finishing washer, our Phillips head dome head screw. Okay, we can go ahead and snug these down now that we have both of them in. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for the other side. Slotted post. Finishing washer. Dome head screw. Okay, our last slotted post. Finishing washer, and our screw. Okay, we'll go ahead and snug these down as well. Okay guys, got those nice and tight. Now that we have our holster completed, you can see it with our E-loops. Let's check the gun, see how it fits. Nice fit, nice snap, very secure. All right guys, and remember, you may want to upgrade your sandpaper, finish the edges off, nice polish. You know, it's totally up to you. You can have it your way. Even pick the color, hardware, different loops if you like. All right guys, remember we also have the ready-to-wear training aids. If you'd like to purchase one of those, get some inspiration, you know, see how the pros do it, get some ideas of your own. Just totally up to you. Do it any way you want. We appreciate you watching and hope to see you on the next video.